Alright folks, what is up? This is One Big Bug and I'm coming at you with Euro Truck Simulator 2. So not the best of runs. I have yet to score the perfect run, if you will. Although we didn't get a speeding ticket. Kind of hard to get a speeding ticket when you can't get up to speed. And we didn't get into an accident, more or less. We did have a bridge we couldn't get under. I had to reload the game and actually drive a little ways around, which caused us, in my opinion, to not have enough time on our stamina bar and caused us to get fined several times for avoiding sleep, and to try and make the delivery as quick as possible, we ran a red light. So, let's do it again. Now, we already looked at the market, and we already know we're taking this train. Now, it's lighter at 45 tons, so that's considerably lighter than the 65 tons we were towing. It's 20 tons lighter. Slightly less distance, but along the same route. So, of course, the big concern right now should be that bridge. I believe this train is low enough to not have to worry about that bridge, but, well, as the saying goes, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Alright, yeah. Alright, I'm here. Boy, my frame rate just said nope. Might as well just fuel up the tank while I'm here. Alright, I'm trying not to sniff too much, and my nose is bothering me a little bit. Give me one sec. Alright. So we need our lights. Hopefully there's not too much wind. Hopefully. Right. I pulled out poorly, so I can't see. And I can't use the mirror trick because there's oncoming traffic. So we'll just have to pull out blind and get lucky, which we did. It's taking me the long way around, but at least I'm getting there. So, the wife and I just finished cleaning up our room. And, you know, it looks nice, clean now. It's not dirty, messy, stuff laying all over. That's refreshing. It's always good when it's done. And then you look at it and know you're going to mess it up again, and it gets depressing. I was thinking of this movie I watched. A friend of mine that I knew a while back, his name, we'll just call him Dan, introduced me to this movie, A Wizard of Speed and Time, and I was just thinking about it. While cleaning, my wife said something that made me think of it for some reason. And because of that, I actually went and looked it up on YouTube, watched a few clips from it. It was pretty cool, honestly. Alright. Train. Which is way over here again. Now, to me, this does look a little bit lower. But that's just to me. I'm not sure if that's actually lower or not. Chunk. Quick look. Yeah, that's lower down than the other one. Considerably. That should fit under that bridge. Oh yeah, we're definitely doing better because it's only 45 tons. I really feel like I'm just getting lucky with what I'm hauling, getting these trains. I just happened to be in the right place. Because we weren't really getting anything really special for a while. That, and I actually kind of chose not to. I took a couple short runs, smaller trailers, just so I could go in the right direction. Actually, I want to be in this lane. A little bit more volume in my ears, not too much. You're not going to stay green, are you? You are? Close enough, because if it turned yellow at that point, yeah, see? I'm already through. Nothing to worry about. And we're good. So, another day, another run. Don't you dare try and come up and pass me on the inside, dude. I should be able to come around this corner at speed. Because, yeah, we're not going, like, excessively fast here. Like I said, we got a man truck. Very stable platform, even in a 4x2 setup. Speed limit 120. Not even going half that. And going to lose speed because we're going uphill. I should be able to make this run without too much trouble. We hopefully won't have to, like, circumvent that bridge, which, that was here, wasn't it? No, but it was at a similar intersection, I think. No, I think this was the area. It sure does look like it. So did it change? Because I didn't see the bridge. I don't know, man. That sure looked like it. But I'm pretty sure that that was much further back in the trip. And I wouldn't actually be seeing it this early. Yeah, because we have to go past this. I don't know. I think one of the reasons I'm getting the loading so much as compared to last time is the sun has come around and starting to heat the back wall, which causes my computer to run much warmer than normal. So it struggles a little bit more when dealing with loading. I have to clean the video card again. I actually forgot to buy a can of air, but I think I've got enough air in the can that I have to clean out my video card and my CPU cooler for the month. Pretty sure I'm gonna be okay. I think I got another can of air that has a little bit in it as well if I need, so I think I'll be all right. We're making good speed now. I mean, we're up to 85, 86, you know, and climbing. It helps that we've just hit a little bit of a downhill. So like I said, the lighter trailer is definitely making things a little easier for us. Now, sometimes I can find new games a little bit scary to get into. because I like to be very, very determined. I'm very determined to try and do well in a game, and something like Shadows or Mordor can be a little bit difficult, to get started. Plus, I picked up Prison Architect, just the base game for now. I'd like to actually expand, pay the extra $20 maybe next month or the month after. I'd actually like to do that. I don't know if I can do it next month, because next month is my promise of Far Cry 4. I promised you folks that I'd do Far Cry 4 as a celebration for my YouTube channel. And because Far Cry 3 was the first video, or was the first, not first video, it was the first video game I had personally ever done on its release. I wasn't late. Like even Shadows of Mordor, I'm a little bit late. I mean, the first game I ever actually did was I did the Mass Effect series. But Far Cry 3 was the first game I ever actually had on release day, and was able to start doing a playthrough on release day. So Far Cry 4 is going to be a celebration of that. Plus, Binding of Isaac Rebirth comes out. And I've been waiting, as all Binding of Isaac fans have been waiting for a very, very, very long time for that game. Because as good as the original game is, there's still a lot of problems in it, and those are problems that'll never get fixed. The game is going to be left in its current form. And that form is things like the rusted key does nothing. It doesn't work. SMB Superfan is supposed to actually give you all stats up, but it's all stats up at speed because it's a speed down, and that was a coding error. And you can get stuck in the right wall if you're moving too fast, and things bounce off the right wall. Flies can't reach you at the top ceiling. All these little bugs and all these little different things, they're all little coding errors that were never truly fixed in the game. They were just left to be as is. Well, that's not going to be... I mean, there may be bugs and mistakes, but they'll be fixed. And the game will actually be put to run the way it was meant to with the release of Rebirth. Plus, there'll be interactions, far more interactions than what would normally be. Like, things like homing tiers will work with technology and brimstone. They will actually home now, which I think is really cool. Plus there's tons more items. There's going to be tons more room layouts. There's going to be tons more rooms. There's going to be different, there's like new boss rooms, of course new bosses and things like that. It's just so many new items. Like in the original, you basically had a 500 room layout or something of that nature. You'd have 500 of this, 500 of that per. In this one, there's like 5,000. 5,000 possible room combinations. So the replayability of the new Binding of Isaac goes through the roof. I have been purposely ignoring anything having to do with Far Cry 4. They've had things like, they're showing off the guns, showing off the first X minutes of gameplay, showing this. I've completely avoided all that. Every last little bit of it I have avoided for the very strict purpose of that I don't want to know anything about the game other than it's being released. I want to be able to play the game from ground zero. You know, and I've kind of done the same thing with the Shadows of Mordor. I know a little bit of it. I've watched some things about it, but very, very little. So it's going to be I'm going to be ground floor in that game as well, which I'm really looking forward to. Now see, we've done much better on the return run already. You know, we've already gone over 200, about 200, 10, 12 kilometers already. On our way over here, it was far less than that at this same time. Our stamina bar looks good for having traveled 200 kilometers and only having 300 more to go. We'll say, yeah, once it reaches 300, that'll be 225 kilometers. Plus, you know, however many few kilometers it took to actually get to the trailer. So we've done 225. We have 300 left. We've barely touched our stamina meter because we've been able to drive the highway. We've been able to roll at speed. Not at best speed, but at a good speed, you know. Hills aren't affecting us too much because we have good momentum. So all things point to this being a really good run. Although most of my runs seem to take place at night, which I've already said is not the best for recording. Although because there's not a hell of a lot to see, there's not a lot of shadows of rain, I'm actually recording at 60 frames a second. It's actually scary. Makes me wonder if I am recording. I'm pretty sure I am. If I'm not, I'm going to be very angry. You know, it's kind of hard sometimes for me to say which run I like more, you know? Because you have the runs that are almost all highway like this. And you just put the pedal down, you get up to speed, and then you just cruise them the whole way. You know, you just constantly cruise at a good speed. And you don't have much to worry about, yeah? You may occasionally have to switch highways like this, but for the most part, things go smoothly. But they can be quite boring. You know, there's not much of a challenge. Especially at night, there's not much traffic to contend with. And even during the day, that there's not a lot of traffic at times as well. So there can be that. And you kind of yearn for the country roads where there's twists and turns and hills and valleys, and you know, trafficking in front of you is an actual concern because you can't like get around it. Alright, coming up is the bridge. This is the spot. This is the spot here. Because that is the road that I came on. Let me rephrase that. This is the road I drove up on so I could circumvent the bridge. I'm almost sure of that. This may not be the bridge here, but this I think is the area coming up after. I think. Because this should be an almost exact route back. I realize I'm yawning a little bit, and I apologize for that. Cannot help. I was thinking that if I can upgrade a prison architect at any point, yeah, I was thinking of the bio I'd write, and I'd associate like my nickname with it. So should I ever become famous enough, yeah, people would know, and I'd give them some kind of name with like the middle name would be, the gangster name, or something would be One Big Bugger. So it'd be like John One Big Bugger Smith, except it wouldn't be John Smith. It'd be something else. And I was thinking about combining a couple of my favorite things together to make his bio, and hopefully it would pass, because I don't want the company to get in trouble. Like, I'm pretty sure they would make sure not to get in trouble for any copyright infringement, which is not what I'm going for. I don't know, maybe my road varied enough to where I'm not gonna cross that bridge. Maybe it looks the same, but it's not actually the same. I don't know. But either way, I was gonna write something of John One Big Bugger Smith was a food connoisseur, traveling around the country, restaurants to restaurants, sampling ample portions of the finest cuisines. Known for his big heart and even bigger stomach, he was beloved by all restaurants that he came across, and beloved by all restaurants that served well. And this is just off the top of my head. I haven't refined it. He was beloved for his great reviews and scorned for his poor reviews. Until one day, a joker figured would replace his designers. You would say like French designers coffee with a standard store brand. Upon the joke being revealed, Bugger flew into a murderous rage and started cooking various patrons of the restaurant. Known for now trying the other white meat, he is now sentenced to life in prison, or even execution. Who knows? And the general consensus across, oops, sorry, wrong button. The general consensus across all that is combining one of my favorite scenes that starred Chris Farley, where they did a whole play on, they switched the restaurant's premium cafe coffee with Folgers, and upon revealing it, he actually flies into a rampage and needs to be knocked unconscious. And with a wink to one of my favorite comedies, and to be honest, in my eyes, one of the last great movies that whose actor's name I now forget actually made, who actually starred live in. But it's a wink to Austin Powers and Fat Bastard. When he talks about Ada Baby is the other white meat. Yeah, it was a nod to both of those. Like I said, that's just off the top of my head. That's not. I'd sit down and refine it and think about it for a while. Put at least like 15-20 minutes of effort into it before submitting it, and then hoping they'd approve it. And if not, then hopefully they would say, we can't do this, you have to write another bio, rather than you pay. It was kind of funny, really. Now that completely unrelated story here, I was actually on the phone with my internet provider about my speed issues, and the guy was telling me all these things. He says, "Oh yeah, I'm a former gamer. I understand the need for stability and speed, and I said, well, yeah. I said, I usually run like 3 game clients, my 3 Eve game clients open. I run 3 game clients, plus I'm usually watching, Netflix or YouTube on another monitor. And the guy talks and he stops, and he goes, excuse me, sir, are you an MMO player? I said, yeah. I said, what MMO do you normally play? I said, Eve. And the funny thing was, come to find out, he was an Eve player as well. He hasn't played in like 4 years. And I found that interesting that I actually connected with another Eve player over the phone, just happenance of the internet provider that I have, and he has to live in Hawaii, probably over on Oahu, because the internet provider and the phone provider I have is strictly local. So I thought that was like really, really cool. The people you can run into like that. And he actually asked me at one point if he thought I was going to get into Star Citizen, if I was going to support that. And I told him, when there's an actual game. And he said, oh, well, this and that, all these different modules. I said, yeah, but you see, those are modules. Those are parts of games. Those are pieces of games that are working independently of each other. I said, putting them all together and making them all work with everything else that still needs to be done in a seamless fashion is another story. I said, at any given point, this project, even though it has all of this money, is so ambitious that at any given point it could crash and burn. That's not to say that I don't have hope. I really hope that Star Citizen makes it, because it's the game the internet has been missing for years. A space sim, I clipped the bumper, it's okay. A space sim game where you fly your ship and it's kind of like freelance, going to a throwback of the Privateer, maybe. I don't know the things about the game, but so many games out there where you used to fly your ship, and of course they were all against the computer, and these major battles, and with fighters, you'd have to take other fighters out and then go for capital ships and whatnot. And it was great, and games like that haven't been around in forever, and now here we have somebody who has skill in doing that, and he's making the game, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, right. We have hope. But it's such an ambitious project, I just worry that the truth of it is it won't see the light of day, That's my biggest concern. Yeah, I kind of figured that was going to go down like that, so that's why I kind of turned the way I did. Oh, we're almost done. Wow, I guess we never crossed that low bridge. Interesting. I can get over in this lane now. So, yeah, I'll get into Star Citizen when there's an actual game together and functioning, like, maybe when it gets around beta. I wouldn't even call what it's in an alpha right now. It's still in developmental stage. It's not even an alpha playable game. Yes, there are different modules, but they're not together as far as I can tell. But that doesn't mean I won't support alpha games. I do some research, I look into things, and one of the major things I trust is the YouTubers that I follow. Yeah? BizSnap and Northern Lion are both very large players when it comes to independent games. And my game's Paranautical Activity, which actually is in official release now. It is actually 1.0 official release. But Paranautical Activity, Nuclear Throne, and I think one other came from. I don't know what the speed limit is here, and I'm getting up to 60. Usually town speed limits are 50. Huh. I'm up to 8. It can go up 8. Can be up to 80 here. I don't trust that speed limit thing down in the bottom with the mods that I have. No need for lights anymore. So yeah, you know, I trust them, and as I said, BizSnap, you know, 2 games off the top of my head, Paranautical Activity, and oh God, don't do that. Alright, so because that happened and my frame rate is really low right now, my voice is probably, if not already, going to unsync from the game, and I apologize for that. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't fix it. I've tried different ways to fix it, and there's nothing I can do about it. Those that really struggle and then low frame rate just causes my will cause my voice to unsync, because it'll still render out at 30 frames a second. Because it renders 30 frames a second, there's an audio for 30 frames a second. That's what you get. You get audio for 30 frames a second. But when... I find out that it can actually go a little bit below 30 frames and not really unsync. It can go down 28 frames, you know, even lower than that, and it'll be generally okay. But when something like that, like what just happened, that hard loading for whatever reason, and then the frame rate didn't recover for a few moments, that, you know, you only have frame rate for at lowest 4, so it's trying to match 30 frames of audio for for 4 frames total, and that causes my voice to unsync. You know, there's not much I can do about it, and I apologize. It's one of the things about the computer that I have. You know, I was hoping at this point to be able to SLI my 660s, but not to be right now, and not to be for a while, if at all. I haven't given up. Yeah, I didn't mean to. Alright. Again, not a perfect run, as I took that corner poorly, but no accidents, no speeding tickets, no avoiding sleep, just a few driving mistakes. I mean, this is my first, and I'm going to call it that, flawless run. I consider a flawless run because I consider it a flawless run because no tickets. As long as I have no tickets, I consider it flawless. No, I turned too far, backing up too fast. Fortunately, we still have enough room to make up for that. Don't do that. It just unsynced again. What's going on with my frame rate all of a sudden? It's got to be a mod causing it. It's got to be a mod causing it. There had to be a mod causing that. Fortunately, it was right at the end there, so not too much. And we leveled up. So rather than unlock more here, let's get some more long distance. I haven't really experienced that before. Alright, closest resting spot here or here. This is a garage. You know, I kind of know that now. So here or here. I'll probably just stop at the hotel. Just because it's that little bit closer. That's a weird trailer. Did I make it? I made it. After the runs I had, a hotel seems like a really good resting place. Alright, some rest. Loan installment came through again, but the run covered it. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, wait. We have new upgrades. Let's check out what we have. We have tires and mirror paint. That's it. You know, I wouldn't mind changing my tires, but that's an expense I don't need. So we're just going to stick with what we have. Our freight market. All right. 30-ton Caterpillar. 1372. It goes into France. It's a new direction, definitely a new city. We have a 25-ton excavator, which actually pays $9,000, and it's not too much less. 10 cents, 12 cents a mile difference. It's not too bad. That's 682. And that's a city. That I don't even know if that doesn't look like it even goes to a city. It just kind of looks like it's one of those quarry drop-offs. And then old subway car. I don't like crossing the pond yet. 4-way hopper. That's not a lot of money. Let's just see what other trailers there are for the hell of it. Big 25-ton pipe if we wanted. So I guess it really comes down to the 30-ton Caterpillar or the excavator. You know, that's really hard to turn down. That's an extra almost $2,000 at only 12 cents a mile less. I'm gonna have to flip a coin on it, really, and which one I want to deliver. If I want to deliver the excavator or the Caterpillar. The Caterpillar would be nice because of the extra, plus the experience I'd get on it. It is not only a high value cargo, but it's a rush delivery, so that would be bonus XP versus the Caterpillar, which is just a high value car, or the excavator, which is just high value cargo. But the excavator does pay out $2,000 more and is only 12 cents less a mile, and is 537 to 682. So that's 150 miles extra distance that I'd have to travel. But it's also 5 tons lighter. You see, there's pros and cons across the board on this. So I'm really going to have to flip the coin when the time comes. So that's going to be me done for this episode, folks. I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as there we go again. As much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Until next time, it's going to be one big bugger. I'm going to be signing out. I'll see you then.